Humans don't give F asterisk. In the endless darkness of space, fear was a powerful force. Most alien races understood this very well. The universe was cold, silent, and full of dangers that could wipe out entire civilizations. Most species learned to avoid conflict and tread carefully around stronger beings. But humans? Humans didn't give a asterisk. The Zarthan Empire was the most feared power in the galaxy. They ruled with an iron fist, crushing rebellion and conquering weaker worlds without mercy. Their fleet stretched across hundreds of systems, and their soldiers were known for their brutal efficiency. When the humans first appeared on the galactic stage, the Zarthans didn't think much of them. Primitive apes from a blue planet, they thought. They won't last a cycle. But the humans had something the Zarthans couldn't understand: stubbornness. They didn't care about fear, odds, or even death itself. It all started with the Battle of Kalar IV. The Zarthans sent a fleet to destroy a human colony. It was supposed to be a quick show of power, a warning to the newcomers to stay in their place. But when the Zarthans arrived, they found something unexpected. The humans didn't run. They didn't beg for mercy. Instead, they armed every civilian, turned mining equipment into weapons, and fought back with everything they had. A human general named Sarah Holt led the defense. She wasn't a soldier by birth. She was a farmer before the war started, living a simple life with her family on the colony. But on Kalar IV, she became a legend. The battle raged for weeks. The humans were outnumbered 10-1, but they fought like demons. They didn't fight for glory or conquest. They fought because they simply refused to lose. Every inch of ground the Zarthans took was soaked in the blood of their soldiers. Even as their cities burned and their skies rained fire, the humans didn't stop. The Zarthans won the battle. They glassed the surface of Kalar IV, turning cities into ash and leaving only silence behind. But they didn't win the war. The humans didn't surrender. They didn't negotiate. They retaliated with everything they had. Small ships, barely held together by bolts and tape, launched suicide missions against Zarthan battleships. Human commandos infiltrated enemy bases, blowing up supply depots and destroying fuel reserves. Every time the Zarthans tried to strike a decisive blow, the humans came back fiercer than before. The Zarthans couldn't understand it. Every other race had bowed to their power eventually, but the humans didn't care about the odds. They didn't care about fear. The turning point came at the Battle of Hades Reach. The humans had gathered a fleet, if you could even call it that. Old cargo ships, retrofitted mining vessels, and a handful of proper warships stood against the Zarthan armada. On paper, it was a massacre waiting to happen, but humans didn't fight on paper. Admiral James Voss led the human fleet. He stood on the bridge of the Iron Will, a ship built from the wreckage of 3 other destroyed vessels. His crew was a mix of ex-miners, farmers, engineers, and a few surviving naval officers. When the battle began, the humans charged head-on. No strategy, no careful maneuvers, just pure, reckless aggression. They rammed enemy ships with cargo haulers, detonated explosives in close quarters, and even used debris fields as cover to launch ambushes. Zarthan ships fell one by one. The humans fought with everything they had, ruthless, wild, and completely unpredictable. They ran ships, detonated explosives at close range, and hacked enemy systems mid-battle, causing chaos and confusion within Zarthan ranks. The Zarthans had never faced anything like it. They were used to order, discipline, and overwhelming force. The humans fought like they had nothing to lose, because in many cases they didn't. By the end of the battle, half the human fleet was gone, but the Zarthan armada was shattered. For the first time in history, the mighty Zarthan Empire had been humiliated in open combat. The message was clear. Humans didn't give an asterisk about fear, about losing, or about death. They fought because they refused to be broken. The war dragged on for years. Planet by planet, system by system, the humans clawed their way through the galaxy. They didn't have the best ships, the best weapons, or the largest armies, but they had something stronger than fear. They had determination. As human forces pushed deeper into Zarthan territory, stories of their ferocity spread like wildfire. Entire planets began to rebel against the Empire, inspired by humanity's defiance. The Zarthan grip on the galaxy began to weaken, and for the first time in centuries, hope bloomed in the hearts of the oppressed. The final blow came at the siege of Zarth Prime. The humans launched an all-out assault on the Zarthan homeworld. By this point, the Empire was crumbling. Fear spread through their ranks like wildfire. The battle was brutal. Human ground forces fought through fortified cities, inch by bloody inch. In space, their ragtag fleet outmaneuvered and outlasted the superior Zarthan ships. Every loss fueled their fury, every victory hardened their resolve. And then, something even more terrifying happened. The humans offered peace. But it wasn't a surrender. It wasn't mercy. It was a message. We could destroy you. We could burn your cities, wipe your name from history. But we won't, because we don't need to. The Zarthans, for the first time, felt true fear. Not from destruction, but from knowing they had lost to beings who didn't care about power or control. They had lost to creatures who fought simply because they refused to kneel. The aftermath of the war reshaped the galaxy. The Zarthan Empire fell, its territories freed, and humanity rose as an unshakable force of resilience. They didn't rule with fear. They didn't seek domination. Instead, they built alliances and helped rebuild what the Empire had destroyed. To many across the stars, humans were terrifying. To others, they were inspiring. They had proven that fear could be overcome, that the odds didn't matter, and that sometimes sheer willpower was stronger than any weapon. But everyone agreed on one thing. Humans didn't give up